Hello, everyone. Welcome to part 10 on climate change. The last part here will be about, so the first thing here is about the distribution of temperature change. Again, warming, of course, is not the same in the globe. You can see, for example, here, the temperature increase here, we have 4.1 degrees Celsius, and anything is in red, brown here is high temperature, high increase of temperature, purple, blue, very low temperature. And you can see that the heat will be different from one place to another. So between 1961 and 2014, more warming has occurred in the North Hemisphere than the South Hemisphere. You can see clearly here more red here than the bottom here. Okay. And of course, this is related to definitely warming, and which is related to pollution, emission of CO2 that is a greenhouse gas. Same thing with the global precipitation also will change. There have been also been measured changes in precipitation between 900 and 2000. There's a decrease shown in green and blue. So here we have a decrease in precipitation in this area right here, and an increase where it is yellow. For example, right here we have an increase in precipitation, and this is again part of climate change because climate change does not mean only temperature, but also it means also precipitation, also rain and snow, all these things. Now we'll get to the models. The global climate models, they use equations. Scientists use equation to simulate climate behavior over time. So they look at the interaction between the atmosphere, ocean, land over a long period, and they try to create a model that can predict what would happen, for example, in 2100, for example. And we have here a couple of models in here. This is, for example, in from 1900 to 2012, those are what we observe. And up to here, we have projected models. Like this is the, in blue, we have low emission model, meaning that if we emit less pollution, we are going to get a temperature increase of 2.2 degree Fahrenheit, 2.2 degrees Celsius or 4 degree Fahrenheit. But if you have like medium emission model, it predict the temperature reach probably around 4 degrees Celsius. But if you have high emission model, we can get a temperature increase of 4.5 degrees Celsius by 2100. We have also a projected sea level change. The model also suggests current rise in sea level could increase by 20 to 60 centimeter by 2100, as you can see here. So this is the minimum model prediction. So this minimum prediction predict that in 2100 we have this amount of civil that change, I mean, that will rise. It's about almost 18 centimeter change. And if we look at the maximal prediction, it would predict like sea level to increase by 60 centimeters, which is a lot. You can see here that a sea level rise of 1 to 2 meter would inundate areas, for example, occupied by 20% of the world's population. You can see, for example, the area that would be affected are places along the coastline in Florida, for example, here, and so on, so on. So those places in in here they will be affected by this increase in sea level, and that's again related to glacier melting because of warming. When ice or glacier melt, the water goes to the ocean increase, and the sea level will start to rise. This sea level, by the way, rising happened in the past. In the past, We have sea level, we have the coastline around here, and now it moved all the way to here. In the future, it might move even further. We have finally policies to mitigate this problem of global warming. We have a global agreement that have been made to try to reduce and control future emissions. We have the famous Kyoto Protocol in 1997, Paris Agreement 2016, except the United States. But anyway, they try to come up with some policy that will mitigate the amount of CO2 emitted to reduce pollution and reduce global warming. So, reducing greenhouse emission, some example. So, the approach to decrease greenhouse gases would be, for example, to reduce waste of energy, developing more efficient vehicles, like instead of using vehicles that use, for example, gas that emit also uh, CO2, it's better to have like other vehicles that can emit that are more efficient and do not pollute the environment. Another thing is that Sony that they already developing the techniques to store CO2 in large. Uh, they sequester the CO2 and put it and trap it somewhere so it will not be in the air, and this way it will reduce the amount of CO2 in the air. So these are example of how to reduce this kind of emissions, but unfortunately, currently we have more pollution, we have more deforestation, and all this would contribute to causing more global warming. So hopefully, things will change in the future that will help reduce this greenhouse gases, which would help reduce global warming. Thank you.